High-level bureaucrats have been putting out holiday propaganda videos in recent years, but just how much time and expenses go into these cringy clips is still kept top secret. Here with Rebel News, I'm Tamara Ugolini, and a few weeks ago I reported on the infamous Public Health Agency of Canada overlord, Theresa Tam, and her Christmas video that was apparently done completely in-house, which basically shilled for Big Pharma and the endless injection campaign with beloved Christmas classic Mrs. Claus.
Are you all set for the holiday season?
Of course. I must say, Dr. Tam, it just warms my heart to see everyone in Canada, especially kids, working so hard to keep the holidays safe and cheerful for all.
So am I, Mrs. Claus. Every child in Canada has definitely earned a place on the nice list. Their parents and caregivers too. It's been a tough season with lots of viruses making people sick.
Thankfully, Santa and I are feeling as healthy as ever. We are both up to date with our vaccinations, including COVID boosters and flu shots.
But today I'm bringing you the secret agent James Bond style video put out by the Minister of Transportation, Omar Alghabra, where he and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau convey themselves to be some sort of competent leaders officially clearing Santa into Canadian airspace just in time for Christmas. It's as though Santa is more risque than that suspected Chinese spy balloon that wandered throughout North American airspace unabated in recent days, or the unidentified object that our fearless leaders' woke military couldn't shoot down, instead leaving the dirty work to a US fighter jet. But that's besides the point of this particular report. See, this report comes through your generous support and donations at rebelinvestigates.com, where we can file access to information requests or ATIPs with the government when we want to know things like just how much of our hard-earned taxpayer dollars fund their little pet projects. We finally have a response back from the top secret, professional enough looking video that features Alghabra and Trudeau. But first, in case you forgot or you missed what exactly I'm referring to, here's a little refresher. Check it out.
Omar, it's time.
Santa is cleared for travel in Canadian airspace. He's coming. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and stay safe.
Now, apparently Transport Canada employees were billing for overtime, mileage, and parking to make this silly Christmas stunt. Have a look on page 1 of the ATIP response. Paul Gironde, who's a communications officer at Transport Canada, billed 2.5 hours of overtime on December the 12th. On that same day, an email from Francis Renee, who is the Senior Communications Advisor at Transport Canada, asks Nick Rainville, the Director for Digital Communications at Transport Canada, if she can, quote, approve overtime for today, end quote. Apparently they, quote, still needed to do some testing and get props ready, end quote. None of those props are present in these documents. Further down, an extra pay summary for Timothy Smith, a communications officer at Transport Canada, shows 3 billed overtime hours between December 12th and 13th. Renee Francis billed $74 worth of extra expenses and listed under details put, pick up equipment to film minister's video. This included a $20 parking fee and 2 45-kilometer trips to pick up and return home with the equipment apparently needed at $27 a pop. None of that equipment is part of this ATIP, interestingly enough. And likewise, Timothy Smith billed $55 worth of extra expenses, which he detailed as record Santa scene for the TC or Transport Canada Christmas video. He too billed a 45-kilometer trip from the video location to his home, there and back, at $27 a pop. Finally, on December the 16th, Renee Francis again bills the round trip to return the equipment and then return back home from dropping off the equipment, which cost $74 in mileage charges and $20 worth of parking. This access to information request response does not detail any of the salaries of those detailed in the response, nor anyone else involved in, directing, filming, producing, and or otherwise responsible for the polished, published video. Apparently the props were free, and Transport Canada has its own mini media company in-house that's able to undertake a clip of this size. Some of you also may recall that the mere 30-second clips solicited from the City of Toronto around their vaccine propaganda campaign cost nearly $5,000 each. Apart from the mere mileage and parking fees included in this response, there was obviously more involved in this 2-minute video than released here: props and other equipment. To be expected from a government that repeatedly depicts itself as open and transparent. For Rebel News, I'm Tamara Ugolini. If you appreciate this kind of coverage and the ability to file access to information requests when needed, then please consider supporting our work at rebelinvestigates.com. At that website, you can also check out all of our previous reports, including the ones I refer to here. That's rebelinvestigates.com.